Hello, welcome to Ghost Prime Transformers Reviews. I'm Ghost Prime, but enough about me. Let's take a look at War for Cybertron Kingdom Voyager class Dinobot. He is pretty awesome. I'm actually really glad I got this figure. I was kind of on the fence about actually picking him up. I'm super glad I did. He is very accurate to the cartoon model. Dinobot was a character that I always sort of enjoyed. He was an early defector from the Predacons in the Beast Wars, and he joining up with the Maximals caused a lot of tension between the Maximals and him, but he ended up being a fantastic character throughout Beast Wars. In fact, if you haven't checked out Beast Wars, you should check it out. It's actually pretty good. The animation's a little dated, but it's got some great storylines, and he is a fantastic rendition of that character design from that show, and I really like him. There's a couple things that I'm not super fond of, which I'll go over, but otherwise, he is very good. So, without any further ado, let's get to the review. Okay, starting right off, take a look at the packaging. You have Dinobot in his raptor form right here, and him in his bot form right there. He looks pretty damn good. I love the packaging on the Kingdom boxes. They look really great. They do a lot despite that small window. On the side, you have the Kingdom logo there. On the back, you have Dinobot in both modes. You have a Predacon logo here. Now, what's interesting about this is this color, actually on his legs specifically, really is a lot different than what we get on the actual toy. This is more of a color breakup here instead of being half and half, and his hips are gold and not brown. They do blend in with the dinosaur mode here a little better than the actual toy. So it's kind of a trade-off of why they did it. I'll go over that one after I go into the review of the actual figure. Some of the dinosaur markings are a bit lighter on this than they are actually on the toy. The toy is actually much darker. Overall, there was a change in aesthetics between this and that, and the legs are vastly different. On the top, just have the Predacon logo and the War for Cybertron logo. Bottom's not important. Inside the packaging, he does not have one of those little cubbies there, so don't worry about it. Everything is right here. He does have a card. Now, I did get a card that I do not have yet. I don't have the Arc. So this is my first time getting the Arc, which is good. I'm glad I got something new, not freaking Black Arachnia, but it's pretty good. I love these cards. I just wish they came with their own. That's what you see when you pull it back. I just wish they came with their own card. It would really, I wouldn't get a lot of duplicates that way. I understand that it's supposed to be random, but I'm not going to be buying multiples of these and pulling out the cards to collect all the cards. I'm going to buy one of each character, possibly two. So what if I miss a card? That I think that I would rather have them put the card with the character. And for accessories, you have his sword, which is done up in like this sort of metallic fuchsia pink purple color, and gold here on the handle. And the tail piece, which comes like this package and then splits open, of course. And it doesn't have any paint here, which I really would have liked to see some paint here. And you get the figure himself. And honestly, he looks fantastic. Let me get him in frame here. He looks very good. I dig this a whole lot. He just really has a presence. As you see what I'm talking about, the legs on the package art, this is all gold here. That's where this is brown. This is brown here at the hips. It's not like that. The color breakup is much more cartoon accurate here. And that's what they're going for in the robot mode. I guess they figured most people would display him like this instead of dinosaur mode, so that's what they went with. But turning him around, he's got some really good sculpted detail. A little hollowness on the back of the arms and on the inside of the arms here. Overall, not too bad at all. He looks really good. A little bit of a backpack, which I don't mind. It almost looks like a jetpack, so I'm kind of okay with it. He looks pretty damn good. And this head sculpt. Check out this head sculpt. It is gorgeous. This head sculpt is done just beautifully. Now the main head here is painted, but the face is painted a flat blue with red eyes. He's got some paint here on the browns, which have a little bit of eggshell kind of tone to them. They're not super shiny, but they're not flat either. Just looks really good. Just tons of detail in the skin work here, all around, down the legs. And he looks just fantastic. They did a really good job sculpting this guy. Excellent sculpt. Absolutely great. He just did a really, really good job. And start off with some comparisons. Let's take a look at him with Kingdom Optimus Primal. And he looks very good as for the scale wise for these two. He looks really, really good here. Love these two together. Here he is with Kingdom Black Arachnia. I guess we could leave Primal there. Here he is with Megatron Kingdom. If I can stand up. Here he is with Rat Trap. Unfortunately, I do not yet have Cheetor, but there's a good lineup of Kingdom figures right there. Overall, he scales very well with all these guys. And last but not least, here he is with the original Dinobot. Now, I haven't been a fan of any of the Dinobots, save the Masterpiece, which I don't have. Any mainline Dinobots at all to be released. This is a great figure, does a lot of justice to the character design. Beautiful looking figure. So let's get into a little bit of articulation and where you can put his weapons. Now his weapons, he has a whole 5mm peg right there in the middle of his hand, and you could peg his sword right there into it like so. So he could hold it like that. And you could take his other gun, essentially, and take this and peg that via this 5mm peg directly into his other hand. Of course, you could also peg the sword into this peg right here. And another thing you could put in there, which is very cool, is a blast effect piece. And it could be just like that. So he could be firing off like that. But it does not spin, just stationary. Although, still, you could get some pretty cool looks from this guy. Let's remove this real quick, 'cause it does get in the way. So let's go over posability real quick. Now his head is on a ball joint, and you could do some really nice expressions with it. Just awesome. I mean, you get some really, really good head movement out of this. Very cool. His shoulders could go 360 all the way around. He has bicep swivel, which is also 360. He has elbows, which is about 90. He has his fingers, wrist swivel, lots and lots of movement in the arm. In addition, if you want to, he could bring his arm all the way up like that. Partly due to transformation, but it gets some amazing posability out of his arms. He does have 360 at the waist. He could kick about that far. Doesn't really go back any further than this, unless you kind of put his leg out a bit. So you got to put his leg out. Doesn't really go that far back, but it goes out pretty far. And his knee does have a 90 degree. His feet could go down like this, and he does have ankle tilts, and he does have a thigh swivel. So overall, you get some fantastic poses out of this guy, and he just has an incredible shelf presence. All right, so let's get into some transformation on this guy. Now, transformation isn't too difficult. And it's got an interesting transformation. So this backpack piece, you can just pull right off. It kind of clicks in there and move his shoulders up. What I want to do is turn these all the way around first. So he's reaching up to the sky like this. And then you'll see his dinosaur arms right there in the side. And you can kind of pull those out like so. And these pieces could just kind of come up like that, revealing the dinosaur head. He has a tab right here. You can see in there. He has a tab right there that tabs from his two heads together, and that pulls back. And this is the back of the dinosaur. And these parts of the chest will be the legs. Where this go here. So you take his head, unfold it, and you can twist his body around like so. And then what we're going to do is kind of unfold, right? So he folds, unfolds. His head goes down here. And put his arms. I'm going to move this piece here kind of out of the way. We could actually move it out of the way. So we could take his shoulder piece and kind of click it in there like that. And then this piece goes over and there's these tabs that kind of tab into place. So take this shoulder piece here, the eye, move that in, move this up. This whole assembly kind of get it out of the way and just kind of click it in place like that. So you kind of leave them out like that for the moment. Then his head will be under here. It's kind of a butt head. So it's right there through there. This tabs in here. The legs. So that's the under here. Now the legs tab in kind of interesting. The knees tab here, and then there's the little piece on the back open up and tab here. They're kind of fiddly to get in on mine. So first off, let's take the heels and push them in together on both sides. Then you take this piece of the leg and then just kind of open it up. And there's a tab actually right there that opens up like this on both sides. And then there's a tab hole on the knee. And then you just kind of push them all together. So you move his knees backwards like this, and then put the knee in this tab. And then you put this tab up here, where you can see right up in there. It's hard to get the camera in there. But make sure you don't try to tab any of this stuff together first, because it can be kind of a bitch to get together. So you want to make sure it's tabbed in the knee, because it's kind of a bitch to get inside. I have trouble with this all the time. More trouble on camera, of course. There we go. That in. On this side here. Of course, this one came out in the meantime. And those tab together, either side. Feet go up and around this bar here. Legs come down. So turn kind of get his feet into position, his fingers either side. Move his arms here, up and around like this. Make sure everything's tabbed in together. Ooh, ow. Which again, these tabs are a pain in the ass. Absolutely pain in the ass, as is these. I have a very hard time getting this one to stay closed. I can't seem to get it to stay closed all the way, see? Just doesn't stay closed, which is kind of irritating. And it kind of happens on both sides. I might be able to wiggle it and get it. But here's almost done in dinosaur mode. You want to take this piece here and the sword, kind of keyed like this. Closes and snaps over both sides like so. So you have this little end sticking out. And just keyed also to go one way. Plug the tail in like that. And you have his dinosaur mode. Which, to be on this piece not clicking in very well, he's not too panely. He's okay. He's just okay. He's got a really nice head sculpt. He looks okay from a distance. But once you get in, it's not very good. Like my wife took one look at these right here. And he's like, why does he have boobs? The dinosaur. I was like, yeah. Well, if you notice on the package art, these are the same color as the skin. But this is him in dinosaur mode. He has feet sticking out there at the back. It doesn't clean up too nicely. A lot of robot bits, an eye on his thigh. Oop. And yeah, so I mean, it could be better. You know, as you see on the package art, this didn't show up as well because it was more, they blended it in a little bit better. And they took an artistic decision to make it like this, probably because robot mode. Now, for articulation in dinosaur mode, he can't move his legs front or back. They can move his knees, his ankles, side to side, his toes. Can't move his tail at all. His arms he can move up and all the way around. He has a joint here at the elbow. He has wrist is on a ball joint, so all the way around, and you could kind of put it under as well. His head does not turn, but he could look down, and he can open his mouth. Like so. Now the hands are very strange, and I'm not sure. They have this little tab right there. Maybe because they're gonna have a disc accessory. I know it does tab into there, but maybe they'll have a disc accessory later to where you could stick it on there too. I don't know. They're very flat and weird looking. I mean, you could always put them up like this if you don't like it, but it is still kind of weird looking. Overall, not the best dinosaur mode, but considering the robot mode is so good, I'm going to go ahead and give that a pass. Here he is with the original Beast Wars Dinobot. Definitely cleans up a lot better than the original. So again, can't be too mad at it. Here he is with the big purple guy himself. Leader Class Kingdom Megatron. To get an idea of size here. Back a little bit. If I can get Megatron to stand up. That's how they size together. Both dinos in the line together. So overall, yeah, dinosaur mode is meh. Could be better. Could be worse. Could be better. It's kind of just okay. Gotta love that freaking robot mode though. It is gorgeous. And yeah, I got a couple little gripes with this guy. Overall, I think he's awesome. He's got a beautiful head sculpt. Could have used some paint in here. I love how the chest is done. I think this is great. The eyes do show up on the legs. He's sort of that mixed bag of things. Like, they definitely have compromises in the design for his Dinobot mode, or dinosaur mode. And he has the weird hands in the dinosaur mode. Overall, though, I'm going to be displaying him like this. I think he's great. I absolutely love the size of him. His joints are beautiful and work wonderfully. He's got a great color breakup. I don't care for this being pink. They should have been like that, I don't know, pinkish silver color, not just straight up purple, pink, metallic that they have. I may be understandable because it sticks out the tip. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's fantastic. So I really recommend him and think you should pick him up if you happen to see him. So yeah, I mean, what else can I say about him? Get this guy. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, hit the thumbs down vote button if you have to. Subscribe, and I'll see you later.